live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. Ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I am Charita Minaparachi.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharifa Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
Court order issued preventing disruptions for the duties of Minister Vijayadasa and Kirti Udavatta. The Prime Minister says that opposition members are able to take part in the regional development activities at any time. University academic activities are taking place online despite the strike of the non-academic staff. The Education Minister says if there is a problem in the O-level science and English papers, justice will be meted for students. New Defence Minister appointed in Russia. Sri Lanka team leave the country tomorrow for ICC T20 World Cup.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top story. Court has issued an injunction order preventing the disturbances for Chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa and Acting General Secretary Kirti Udavatta performing their duties on the relevant portfolios.
SLFP Homagama electoral organizer Isuru Abewardena says that the Kaduwala District Courts issued this injunction order today. SLFP Homagama electoral organizer Isuru Abewardena said that they expect the support of the courts to carry forward the decisions taken at the SLFP Executive Committee meeting held yesterday. Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa will continue the duties as the chairman. Kirti Udavatta will carry out duties as the acting general secretary with the permission of the courts. SLFP representatives expressed their views regarding the SLFP Executive Committee meeting held yesterday and the decisions taken at this meeting. Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that this is not the proper way to take decisions of the party. With regard to Maithripala Sirisena's resignation, he said that Maithripala Sirisena would say that he had not resigned from the post. The minister further said that there is a system to convene a party meeting. These decisions should be taken through Central Committee, Politburo and other committees. Some decisions should be informed officially in advance. There are some court decisions against some leaders. However, some party leaders act arbitrarily. The minister said that meetings should be held at the party headquarters, not at the roadside hotels or houses. The Politburo has appointed Niwan Siripala as the acting chairman.
අපි තියන්නේ අකුපිල්ල වල නෙමෙයි, කඩපිල්ල වලත් නෙමෙයි, හෝටල් වලත් නෙමෙයි, සල්ලි දීලා කට්ටියට බොන්න දීලා කන්න දීලාත් නෙමෙයි. අපි තියන්නේ පක්ෂ මූලස්ථානයේ තමයි අපේ රැස්වෙන්නේ. අපේ ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ තියෙනවා මොන තීන්දුව ගත්තත් අවසාන තීන්දුව ගන්න දේශපාලන මණ්ඩලය. දේශපාලන මණ්ඩලයේ මේ සභාපතිවරයෙක් පත් කරා නෙමෙයි නිමාස සිරිපාල. එතන වැඩ බලන සභාපතිවරයා විදිහට පත් කළා තියෙනවා. සභාපතිවරයෙක් ඉදිරියේ පත් වෙයි අවශ්‍ය නීත්‍යානුකූල ක්‍රම වේ.
දැන් මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන මහතා අයියේ කියනවා මේ කඩුවේ පොඩ කඩුව දීලා වෙන්න ඔක්කොම කඩුවම දෙන්න ඕන හරියට වැඩ කරන්න ඕන කියලා. ඉතින් මුළු කඩුවම දීලා තියෙන දැන් වැඩ කරයි දැන් විජයදාස මහත්තයා. දන්නේ නැහැ. එතුමාගේ කඩුව මොකද්ද දන්නේ නැහැ. ලී කඩුවක්ද දන්නේ නැහැ. මේක තමයි තියෙන්නේ. එතුමා හරිය සතුටින් ඉන්නේ හැමදාම එහෙමයි. පොඩි මේවා ටිකක් හම්බුනොත් බොහොම සතුටින් ඉන්නවා. දුකෙන් ඉන්නේ ඔබතුමාලාද නැහැ? නෑ අපිත් සතුටින් ඉන්නවා. විශේෂ විධායක සභාවක් යනවන්නේ මොකටද කියලා.
Parliamentarian Dasiri Jayasekara said that they must inform why they convene a special executive committee meeting. The other matter is whether the deputy secretary has the power to convene an executive committee meeting. Legal actions would be taken against Sarath Ekanayake in future for insulting the courts. Whoever comes to the top post, the party is now in disarray.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that opposition members are able to take part in the development activities carrying out at divisional level at any time. Addressing the House today, the Prime Minister made these remarks. Meanwhile, several announcements, regulations and orders under the Import-Export Act and the Excise Ordinance were presented at the Parliament today. Parliamentarian Lakshman Kiriyalla said that the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa has announced the privatisation and restructuring of state institutions should be stopped immediately. Then what would happen is the restructuring process of the electricity board, and he said that he would like to ask Minister Kanchana Wijesekara whether he works according to Mahinda Rajapaksa's policy or not. Minister Kanjara Wijesekara said that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa had not at any time said that restructuring process should be stopped. The government has no intention to sell the electricity port. The government's aim is to maintain loss-making institutions under proper restructuring process. Parliamentarian Dayasiri Jayasekara said that a circular has been issued ordering to appoint community advisory committees in all local governmental areas. This is to activate the local government bodies again without holding the polls. This is not a development move but to promote the political candidates, and the Prime Minister should stop the promotion campaign. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that the relevant circulars do not intend to promote election candidates. Members are appointed to the development committees disregarding their political views, and the government allocate funds not favouring for any political party.
ඔබතුමාලා විපක්ෂයක් කියලා එකක් නැහැ. අද වෙලා තියෙන ඒකයි. මෙහෙන් ගියාට පස්සේ ඔබතුමාලා කරන්නේ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද දන්නේ නැති තත්ත්වේ. මේ බාර් ලයිසන්ස් 500ක් දෙන සූදා.
Parliamentarian Lakshman Kiriyala said that there is a rumour that 5,000 more bar licenses are to be issued. The government is committed to safeguard Buddha Sasana. State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya said that the opposition always asks questions in conventional manner. The government needs to prevent consumption of illicit liquor. The government only receives income if the standard and registered liquor is consumed by the people. Parliamentarian Mujibur Rahman said that it is common that people have come to a decisive political milestone at present. There are conspiracies against Samagi Janabalapege prior to the upcoming elections. The government is planning to not hold the presidential election. This JB will win any election in future. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that the entire income of the government last year was 3 trillion rupees. The recurrent expenditure is over 4.6 trillion rupees. There is a shortage of 1.6 trillion rupees. There is a huge problem for the government has to earn an extra 6,250 million rupees daily for various expenses. In the meantime, opposition asks funds for development activities. How can the government provide funds? The opposition is happy if the country is caught fire.
හැමදාම කියන්න ඕනේ මේ කතාව නැත්තම් හැමදාම රටට පට්ටපල් බොරු කියන්න රට ගෙනියනවා රටේ මිනිස්සු සම්පූර්ණයෙන් මැරෙන තත්ත්වයට ගේන්න හදන්නේ ඔබතුමාගේ ප්‍රශ්න උදේ අහලා උත්තරයක් දුන්නා කරුවා රටක් කාණ්ඩු කරන්න බෑ කවුරු හරි කියනවා නම් අපිට
Parliamentarian Harsha De Silva said that no one can say that the restructuring process is not necessary. Whoever becomes the leader of the country, the government cannot evade the economic restructuring process.
The Meteorology Department says that showers or thunder showers will be experienced in certain parts of all the provinces in the island tonight. Director General of the department, Atula Karnanayaka, says that over 100 millimeters of rain may occur in a few places. Director General of the Meteorology Department, Atula Karnanayaka, said that showers or thunder showers may occur in all provinces tonight. Some areas in the western, northwestern, central, Uva provinces and in the Gaul and Mathura districts, rains exceeding 100 millimeters may occur. These rains accompany with thunder and lightning. General public are advised to take care of these dangers. In addition, the heat condition may ease in the coming days.
Police used water cannon attacks to disperse a protest march organized by the university non-academic staff in front of the Theatre Uyana in Battaramulla today. Non-academic staff members of the universities have been engaging in a trade union action for over several days, demanding some allowances and against the slash of their salaries. They engaged in a protest for over a period of 1 hour and later attempted to walk towards the parliament. Then the police attacked the crowd with water cannons to disperse them. Although the strike of the non-academic staff causes disturbances to university education, Chairman of the University Teachers Association Baranuja Vardhana said that the academic activities are being carried out online at present.
Local government members collective of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has handed over a letter to the Election Commission saying that offering a parliament seat to Mujibur Rahman of Samagi Jana Balawegaya is illegal. Samagi Jana Balawegaya decided to appoint Mujibur Rahman to the parliament seat, which fell vacant following the Supreme Court decision to declare Diana Gambige's parliamentary representation void. Accordingly, he was sworn in as MP before the Speaker last Friday. Mujibur Rahman contested the 2020 general election and was elected as an MP from the Colombo district of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya. Later, he resigned from the parliamentary seat to contest the local government election. Chairman of the Local Government Members Collective of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Udeni Athukorala, said that Mujibur Rahman has tendered nominations to the local government election. At the same time, he has been elected to the parliament. This is a blatant violation of election law. He has signed a nomination list of local government election and simultaneously has signed in the national list as a parliamentarian. Since he has signed 2 nomination papers, he has violated the election law.
And meanwhile, President's Counsel UR De Silva says that statements made by Lal Kantha of the National People's Power would resemble their attempt to enter into their past political activities. He pointed out that such statements are a huge threat to democracy. K.D. Lal Kantha of the National People's Power said that a military struggle is applicable in the present context as well, because they are not prepared to go home and just hanging on the provisions of the Constitution. A struggle of farmers equipped with sickle, tractors and many other tools is much needed for the country at present. The downtrodden people must be equipped with weapons of political ideology. All the people must come forward with perseverance.
සන්නද්ධ වෙන්න ඕනේ. නොපසුබස්නා වීරයෙන් සන්නද්ධ වෙන්න. ආත්ම පරිත්‍යාගයෙන් සන්නද්ධ වෙන්න. මේ සන්නද්ධකම් එකතු වුණාම නූතන සන්නද්ධ අරගලයක් තමයි. එහෙම එකක් ඕන මේක වෙනස් කරන්න. එහෙම නැතුව බෑ. හැබැයි සමාජයට මේක ඒත්තු ගන්නන්න අපිට සමාජය කම්පණය කරන වචන ඕන. දැනෙන වචන ඕන. මොකද මේක හිරි වැටිලා තියෙන්නේ. අරාජිකත්වයේ එක ලක්ෂණයක්. හිරි වැටෙනවා. ඡන්දත් නැහැ. වෙනස් කරන්නේ කොතනින්ද? දැන් අපිත් එක්ක කතා කරන විවිධ අය ඉන්නවනේ. සහෝදරයා දන්නවා පාර තොටේ යනවනේ. ඕන තරක බහිනවනේ. සහෝදරයා කොහොමද මේක වෙනස් කරන්නේ? මාත්‍ය කොහොමද මේක වෙනස් කරන්නේ? මුන්ට ගාලා පන්නන්න වෙයි. ඒක අරගලයක් වෙයිද? ගාලා හරි පන්නමුකෝ. ඇයි පරක්කු කරන්නේ? අපි ලෑස්තිනේ. අහුගිය අරගලය කියන්නේ
President's Counsel UR De Silva said that the struggle during the past year led the country towards instability. He asked the people to come to encircle the parliament. It seems that they need to end the parliamentary system in the country. Making such statements are a threat to the democratic process of the country. The aim is to grab power with violent activities. This is a dangerous situation. Their attempt is to pick up the general public to create a struggle and chaotic situation in the country against the government.
Minister of Education Susil Premajan says that if there's any problem with regard to science and English question papers of the GCE O-level examination this year, the relevant students will be given a reasonable solution in the process of evaluating the answer scripts. Addressing the Parliament today, the minister said the relevant committee has already started discussion regarding this matter. SJP parliamentarian Rohini Kaviratna said that there were questions in the science paper that are not included in the curriculum. For some questions, there are no correct answers. Some questions have several answers. For some questions, there are no answers. The structure of the English paper has been totally changed. In some provincial schools, there are no English teachers. Therefore, it is not reasonable for students to give such complicated papers.
ඒකේ view එක වෙනස් කරලා තිබුණා ස්ට්‍රක්චර් එක සම්පූර්ණයෙන් වෙනස් කරලා තිබුණා දරුවන්ට ඉංග්‍රීසි ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍රේ. ඒකට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මොකද හරියට භාෂාව ඉගෙන ගත්තා නම් මොන විදිහෙන් ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍රය දුන්නා උත්තර ලියන්න ඕනේ. හැබැයි ගැටලුවක් තියෙන්නේ ඇමතුමා අපේ ඇතැම් පළාත්වල පාසල් වලට පුහුණු ඉංග්‍රීසි ගුරුවරයෙක් නැහැ. ඉතින් මෙන්න මෙහෙම ගැටලු තියෙද්දි මේ වගේ කඩයිම් විභාගයකදී දරුවන්ට මෙහෙම කරාම දරුවන්ගේ මානසිකත්වය බිඳ වැටෙනවා.
විශේෂම විද්‍යා ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍රයේ
Minister of Education Susil Premajan said that a discussion is already being carried out regarding the controversial questions in the science paper. A final decision will be taken in this connection. It is common that such problems erupt in any exam. However, actions will be taken to provide justice for all students. He further said that a competitive examination was held in 2021 to recruit 500 English diploma holders as teachers. The relevant interviews are being carried out at present. These 500 diploma holders will be appointed to the national schools and the rural schools. The examination department cannot reduce the quality of a question paper. The examination department will take necessary actions if there is any injustice for students.
And now let's move on to some few more local news items in brief. Mount Lavinia Crime Investigation Bureau has arrested a computer engineer of the Katubadda Thalewala area who was smuggling drugs. The police have seized a kilogram of 50 of Kerala cannabis and 50 grams of ice in his possession. The police believe that the suspect is a local agent of a drug smuggler operating from abroad. Police Special Task Force yesterday arrested a suspect at Saudi Seabelt in Jaffna with a stock of high-power explosives. Police believes that the suspect was planning to carry out a destructive blast. Police have discovered 3.145 kilograms of TNT explosives, a stock of RPG munitions and 12 pounds of 6mm mortars in his possession. A puja was offered to God Ganesh in Anuradhapura, wishing victory for President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the upcoming presidential election.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Thilina Gamage today ordered to postpone the hearing of evidence in a case against Vimal Veeravansa and 5 others until the 15th of July. This case has been filed under the allegation of violating the police ordinance by organising an illegal procession. This illegal procession had been organised in protest of the arrival of Human Rights Commissioner Sheikh Al Hussein to Sri Lanka. The relevant suspects appeared before the courts today. President's Counsel Jayantha Veerasinghe, appearing for the respondents, said that main suspect parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansa is scheduled to participate in parliamentary sessions today and tomorrow. The magistrate considered his appeal and postponed the case. The Supreme Court today ordered the Attorney General to submit a report within the next 2 weeks regarding the progress of the investigations against Prof. Jerome Fernando. This order was issued when a fundamental rights petition was summoned before the 3-member panel headed by Chief Justice Jayantha Jayasuriya. The petition has been filed by all religious leaders. They have requested the Supreme Court to take legal action against him for issuing a defamatory statement to Buddhism and other religions. Well, that's it on local stories, and we'll be back with some international news updates.
Prima Kottumi, Pantamai.
Welcome back with international stories. And Russian President Vladimir Putin was judged to remove his long-standing allegation story, as Defense Minister Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov announced. The 68-year-old had been in the role since 2012 and will be replaced by Deputy Prime Minister Andriy Belosov, an economist with little military experience. Sergei Shoigu appointed as the Secretary of Russia's Security Council. The appointment of Andriy Belosov as the Defense Minister will come as a surprise to many, given his previous experience in military aspect. But analysts suggest President Vladimir Putin was seeking to align the Russian economy more closely with the war effort. The decision to put an economist in charge of the Ministry of Defense reflects the changing priorities of the Kremlin and the huge amounts of money the Russian authorities were now pouring into the war in Ukraine.
Thousands across Canada were urged to evacuate as the smoke from blazing wildfires endangers air quality and visibility and begins to waft into the United States. Some 3,200 residents in northeastern British Columbia were under an evacuation order Saturday afternoon as the Parker Lake fire raged on in the area spanning more than 4,000 acres. Meanwhile, evacuation alerts were in place for parts of Alberta as the MWF-17 wildfire burns out of control near Fort McMurray in the northeastern area of the province, officials stated. The fire had burnt about 16,000 acres as of yesterday morning. Canadian authorities warned that those at higher risk of experiencing health effects from wildfire smoke, and they also recommended that those who spend time outdoors should wear a mask to help reduce exposure to fine particles of smoke.
And meanwhile, Ukraine's military chief Alexander Syrskyi stated that his forces were facing a difficult situation in the northeastern Kharkiv region, where thousands of more people were fled their homes amidst an advance by Russian forces. Ukraine's general staff said that fighting was raging out at Voskar, a town about 4 kilometers from the border and 45 kilometers from Kharkiv, Ukraine's second biggest city and the capital of the Kharkiv region. The Ukrainian military asserted that Russia had deployed significant forces for its attacks on its town, but taking no account for their own losses, with at least 100 soldiers reported dead. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky stated that defensive battles were taking place along large sections of the border near Kharkiv, and the fighting was no less acute in some areas of the Donetsk region further the east.
A British climber and a Nepali guide have broken their own records for most climbs of Mount Everest, the world's highest mountain, hiking officials said. Kamirita Sherpa, 54, scaled the world's tallest mountain for a 29th, beating his own landmark in setting the new standard. A guide hit his summit yesterday. Meanwhile, the British man Kenton Cool marked his 18th peak, breaking his own previous record. He was also known as a mountaineering guide and had previously played down the achievements.
And at least 41 people were killed after flash floods and cold lava flowing from a volcano hit the western Indonesian island of Sumatra. Hours of heavy rain on Saturday swept torrents of ash and rocks down Mountain Marapi, the most active volcano in Sumatra. The mudslides in Antuera 2 districts swept people to their deaths and damaged more than 100 homes, mosques and public facilities. 17 people were missing, and survivors recounted how they fled as the cold lava, a mixture of volcanic materials and pebbles that flow down a volcano slope, and the rain flowed towards their homes. According to the National Search and Rescue Agency, rescuers had found 19 bodies in the worst hit village of Kanduang in Edge district and recovered 9 other bodies in the neighboring district of Tanra Datar yesterday afternoon.
Prima Kotumi.
And we move on to sports news now. Sri Lanka team is scheduled to leave the country tomorrow for the ICC T20 World Cup cricket tournament.
The team appeared for the official photograph this evening at the Sri Lanka cricket. This year's ICC T20 World Cup cricket tournament will be played in the USA and in the West Indies. The team headed by Vanidhu Hasaranga engaged in all religious observances this evening. Captain of the Sri Lanka team T20 cricket team Vanidhu Hasaranga said that he received a team from the selection committee with the quality players as he wished. He thanked the selection committee for this matter. Several players participated in IPL as well. With all this experience and wishing mentally of the past tournaments, the team will be going to the World Cup with confidence.
කොයිතරම් හොඳට ක්‍රීඩා කරාද කියලා ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ කණ්ඩායමක් විදියට අපි පන්දුවන් සහ පන්දුකට පාර දෙන්න පිටිකරුවන් දෙපැත්තම හොඳ බැලන්ස් කරලා තමයි කණ්ඩායම සිලෙක්ට් කරලා තියෙන්නේ.
Angelo Matthews said that the team is well prepared with practice sessions during the past period and all players are at their maximum skills. Chairman of the selection committee Upul Taranga said that Vanidhu Hasaranga is physically fit for the tournament. The wickets in the USA and West Indies can be expected slow. The team has all-rounders, very good spinners and batters. Dhananjay De Silva is an all-rounder and a very good fielder. He said that there is a well-balanced team. Regarding the oust of Kusal Janit Pereira, chairman of the selection committee said that he was not successful in the match's recent past. There are a number of power hitters in the team. Regarding Matheesh Pathirana's injury,
දිහා බලලා ධනංජයගේ විශේෂයෙන්ම ඔහු පන්දු වීමේ හැකියාවත් එක්කම තුන්ගිරියෙන් ගත්තම ඉතාමත් හොඳ පන්දු රකින්නෙක් එක්ක මම හිතන්නේ ඇඩිෂනල් දේවල් ටිකත් එක්කම අපි හිතුවා කන්ඩිෂන් එක අපි ඔහුගෙන් යන්න පහළ දැනට ඉන්න සංයුතය අනුව
regarding Matheesh Pathirana's injury, he said that according to the current medical reports, he can be used for all matches of the World Cup. And meanwhile, Sports Minister Harin Fernando says that he will take actions to revitalize Sri Lanka's rugby culture.
He made these remarks at a ceremony held in Colombo yesterday to motivate the players of the rugby national team. Sri Lanka rugby team became the champions at the first part of the Asian Rugby Tournament held recently at the Racecourse grounds in Colombo. Sri Lanka became the champions by defeating Kazakhstan in the finals. The felicitation ceremony has been organized to felicitate players and the coaching staff of the national team. A prize money of $30,000 was offered to the winning rugby national team by Sri Lanka Cricket. Sports Minister Harin Fernando said that playing rugby is not a beneficial activity, only injuries. He said that he is happy today that the rugby players play for the country and love of the game. Sri Lanka Rugby has 45-player squad and Sri Lanka Cricket has also granted financial benefits for them for their dedication towards the game. With 2 years plan, they are able to start a long journey.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, signing off with Sharifa. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.